salutations, sports fans. Welcome back to The Fumble. I am your host, Jackie Ray. Thanks for hanging out with us once again as we get into all this NBA bubble action. Now, before we break all this down, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and then venture over to all social media, especially Instagram, and follow me at JRayTheFanatic. Now, to be honest, this is kind of an off night for us. All the teams who play tonight are already in the playoffs, so just relax and enjoy some highlights, and let's get to this scorecard. The kickoff of tonight's action between the Pacers and the Rockets was not a high-intensity game. Russell Westbrook was out once again after his MRI showed that he had a strained quad. The Rockets only scored 17 points in the second quarter, but the Pacers didn't do much better going into the half. The Pacers led by just 1 point. It was 50-51. And going into the fourth quarter, neither team had 80 points. Pacers broke the 100 mark late in the fourth quarter. It was a little slow, y'all. James Harden still put up 45 points and 17 rebounds. He was just short of another triple-double as he only had 9 assists, but it doesn't matter. Pacers get the win 108-104. Kyle Lowry was eating so well during the Raptors matchup with the 76ers. His teammates kept feeding him the rock, and he ended up with 19 points by the half. But that did not stop the 76ers from taking to Twitter to try to throw some shade Kyle's way. After Josh Richardson gets this foul for this baby tap, the 76ers tweeted this out. Take a look. Okay, we can all agree that's probably a baby tap. Yes, Kyle probably flopped a little bit. 76ers tweet, we didn't know Oscars were given out during this. Cute, but that little bit of shade was not working. Raptors had an 18-point lead going into the fourth quarter. 76ers wanted no parts of that and were leading by 2 with 41 seconds left to play, but the Raptors, they decided to fight on, and Stanley Johnson gets the bucket to tie it up, and he gets the next layup to take the lead. Johnson only had 5 points on the night, but he got the Raptors over the hump. Raptors win 125-121. So if I can give a little tip here, never say anything about anything until you're sure it's going to go exactly the way you think. Early in the second quarter of the Heat OKC game, Duncan Robinson was 5 for 5 from the field, 4 for 4 from downtown, and he made both of his free throws. It was in this moment that the Heat decided to tweet this. Footage of Duncan Robinson missing a shot with an error message of sorry, this file does not exist. And guess what, kids? 5 minutes later, he missed. He closed the half with 16 points, but he ended up with only 19 on the night. Tyler Hero tried to save the day with his 30 points, but he fell short. The Heat fall to OKC 115-116. Now, you guys know the Mile High City is where I hail from. So I have some love for the Nuggets, especially if they're going to try to sock it to the Clippers. But alas, it did not go my way. Denver was leading by 8 at the half, but they seemed to run completely out of gas by the fourth quarter. And lemon pepper stripper chicken Lou, I know that's a little longer than his nickname, but that's what I'm going to call him now. He came off the bench with 20 points. Paul George had 26, and Kawhi seals the deal with 27. Clippers win 124-111. The win tonight seals the Clippers as the number 2 spot in the West and has them meeting the Mavericks in the first round. So the standings in the West are pretty much the same. The East is sealed as well. Nothing really exciting to see here, but you're going to want to come back tomorrow to see what kind of movement we have in the West. Portland is in the number 8 spot right now and just 1 game ahead of the Grizzlies and Suns, 2 games ahead of the Spurs. But since they do not have a 4-game cushion, there will be a play-in. I originally had the Grizzlies losing tomorrow against the Bucks, but Giannis is out because he will be serving a 1-game suspension for his headbutt against Mo Wagner, which, it was still fun for me to see. So look, Grizzlies, this is your time to go out there and pounce. Good luck. I'm predicting the Suns to remain undefeated in the bubble, and I think that they will beat the Mavericks. But the Jazz, although they are safely in the playoffs, they came into the bubble in the number 4 spot. They have dropped all the way down to the number 6 spot. I'm guessing they'll take it easy, but they may want to seize this opportunity and try to go hard against a team that is doing everything they can to stay in it. I have the Spurs winning this one, but we'll just have to see. But this Portland game has me concerned. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see this Dame train plow through everything in its wake, but in order for it to do that, it has to plow through my King James and the Lakers. And to be honest, I simply do not Want that, and I definitely want maybe Portland needs to lose so Dame can dial back on that throttle a little bit. They do face the Nets tomorrow, and let's not forget the Nets have gotten the best of the Bucks and the Clippers, so it's entirely possible. And I would much rather my Lakers face the Grizzlies than a pissed off Dame Dollar. I don't see it happening, but those are the 3 important games that are happening tomorrow. So again, make sure you come back and check in with Chris to get the final standings on that. But now, let's get into these must-see moments. First up, keep your legs closed. No, I'm not talking to you IG models trying to get into the bubble. I'm talking to you, Milton.
That's great execution. Hey, you don't come from Philadelphia and
that's just so embarrassing. I love it though. Now look, usually if you only score 5 points, what you don't do is make it into the must-see moments, but you do when you help your team win. And watch Kyle Lowry and the rest of the bench reaction to Stanley as he sends the momentum back the Raptors' way.
High game, make them beat you man on man, and the Raptors do a great job of getting out of that situation and taking advantage of it, but odd decision to double in the middle of the floor.
That is such a great moment to see. And again, I am from the Mile High City. Now, the Mile High City is called the Mile High City because it is a mile above sea level. Orlando is only 112 feet above sea level. So I need you to remember that as you take a look at this. Now, Bol Bol steals the rock on a bad pass, goes from end to end. But wait, you gotta keep watching. There's something I need you to see.
Just jump the passing lane a little bit casual if you're the Clippers. Bol. Wow, end to end.
Here it comes.
Beautifully done.
Such agility.
Come on, 7'2". That's easy.
Well, the finish
Look
is
at that.
fairly easy.
He is winded. He's not supposed to be winded because he's coming from the Mile High City. You're supposed to be able to breathe better when you work out in thin air. That's why the Olympics train there. But he is winded. Doesn't matter. He is a fan favorite. Everyone loves him. And I promise you, Denver will make those lungs real strong, real quick. This is my favorite part of the night. I get to see what you guys are thinking with these social media moments. All I can say is I can truly relate to this next user because there is nothing worse than rushing home from work wanting to see LeBron James, but you can't because Hulu does not have live sports. I realize that I'm bitter about that, but what I'm trying to say is I can really relate to this user who says this. He says, Houston fans, how do I get off work only to find out that Russ is injured, y'all? Damn, 2020 just killing everything. That's facts. That's facts. I have nothing to argue with that. Join me now and let's play a game of Making the Band. We have to because this Twitter user said this. The Clippers always have 3 players you can count on and 2 you hope you can. It's like if Destiny Child couldn't kick Latavia and LaToya out of the group. First of all, why are you bringing up old stuff? Latavia and LaToya out there trying to live their best life and you bringing this up? Second, I need to figure this out. So does that mean that Kawhi would be Beyonce? I still think you would still have a full Destiny's Child because Paul George would be Kelly, and then Zubac and Lou Williams would be the other 2 members that you don't want to kick out, right? So you definitely have a full Destiny's Child that is still singing and making platinum hits right now, so stop it. I don't know, guys, but I do know that you guys are on it because the second the clock ran out, look at this tweet from Ralph Mason. He tweeted, OKC versus Rockets in round 1, official. To which Dame replied, Chris Paul has never Chris Paul'd as much as he is going to Chris Paul in this series. If you need a translation, that literally means he is going to be snitching, calling out violations. So make sure that your shirt is tucked in. Now look, normally I say the internet is undefeated, but if this user is right, the internet is definitely taking an L on this one. The internet really be making 60 points in an NBA game seem irregular, but dummy be like, if it don't happen in the playoffs, it don't mean nothing. I haven't seen anybody on the internet say that, so I think this guy is making it up. It's probably a conversation he had with his friends, but that is not a factual statement, people. One more point. If you scream like this when someone is chasing you or trying to bring you harm, no one's gonna come help you. Just know that. Take a look.
Already bodies up. Kawhi has already got
Did you hear it? That was Kawhi yelling. So now we have his laugh and we have his yell. It's fantastic. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me today. Don't forget to come back tomorrow and check out all these games with Chris. Once again, I'm Jackie Ray. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching us here on The Fumble, and we'll see you next time.